past few years, you'll have noticed that some of the swatches have changed since I made the previous video. Most cases, they've changed in really small ways that you can predict by using the master list, which lists most of the information about the product type. But in some cases, the fabric has changed completely. Number 41 is a chino, 100% cotton, which means it has spun yarns. The construction method is that it is a warp-faced twill weave. And this is always the challenge, right? You got to make sure that you get enough space in there to put in all the information. It is piece dyed, and that's something you wouldn't have been able to guess without the information. There is no information provided about the finishes. Some characteristics include that the fabric was 60 inches wide, and that it had a fabric count of 104 by 64, which, as you can see, makes it unbalanced. Also that its weight is 8.8 ounces per square yard. I've provided this information for the items in the past, but in this case, this may be useful to you if you are using this kit as part of your specification. Possible end uses, of course, include trousers. We won't call them pants in case there's any British people listening. And it may also be used for things like jackets. All right, the next swatch that we need to look at is, let's take a look really quickly at the fabric itself. As you can see, there are the diagonal wales, right? So we can hear a little bit of a zip sound. And because it's 100% cotton, the yarns in both the warp direction, this is the warp direction, and the filling direction will be mostly the same. If I pull a yarn out there and we take a look, we can see that indeed it is a spun yarn coated with lots of little fibers that I can pull out easily. Our next swatch is number 53. This one has changed somewhat. So this is a shirting fabric. This is also 100% cotton. The yarn is a spun, but this is included in the kit as an example of ply warp yarns. So let's take a look and see what they mean by this. Again, this is the warp direction, the long direction. And so if I pull a yarn out from the long direction and twist it back and forth, I'm trying to basically get it to untwist. Oh, no, that was not the backwards direction. That was definitely the forwards direction. Oh yeah, there we go. And I was able to actually separate it out into two smaller yarns. There we go. All right, so this is a 2-ply yarn. All right, what else do we know about this one? Oh boy, I need to start a line above. This is an extra warp yarn weave, and it is uncut, which means if we look at the back, we can see those extra warp yarns They've not been clipped as compared with the eyelash next to it. It was yarn dyed, and it has no finish. The characteristics, it's 45 inches and 6.4 ounces per square yard. And some possible end uses. You may not be shocked to hear are shirts or other kinds of apparel.